modern day. What stood out to you, and what do you envision his role being this year?
Well, Quincy brings a lot of versatility. Coach Daggy, had me watch the film. Him and Coach Bobby Wade, they were real impressed what he brought to the table on film, not just from a running back standpoint, but he did a lot of things catching the ball as well as in the special team space. So you've seen a kid that not only could run the ball, but was run excellent routes and good hands and really physical in the run game. So we figured he would have a great role and be able to fit the offense. And it was so early with Coach Daggy coming in. His vision for the offense was something that I was all in on. So once the film was sent to me and I was able to evaluate and watch it, it was a no-brainer to have him part of our program.
And he's one of a handful of FCS guys that you guys are bringing in this year overall as a team. What value do you see out of recruiting out of that level? What kind of talent is coming out of that?
Just the hunger, just the chip on the shoulder. Like you mentioned, he come from modern day high school, so he probably felt a little under-recruited. When you playing against and coaching against FCS schools, a lot of those guys, they're Division I football players, and for whatever reason, they probably got overlooked or didn't get evaluated in the sense, and they felt like they belong. Because even here, he's pound for pound, he's one of the strongest guys on our football team. He's like 500-pound squat guy. He benches over 365. I mean, he does some things that's for his size. It's incredible that he does it. He was a long jumper in high school, which shows his explosiveness. So those things that he brought to the table, I knew he would be a good fit for our program, and he's real physical. He blocks defensive ends, linebackers, whatever you ask him to do, he does it. And like I mentioned, he has great hands, has the versatility to play in the backfield or even out in the slot somewhere lined up like a receiver.
Coach, you mentioned the running back receiver piece. How would you describe how that's going to work in this new offense? Is it going to be more than what we saw in the past? Is it going to be similar to what we saw last year?
Well, if you just look at traditionally the position of running back, I think they don't get enough credit for what it brings to the table. As a running back, not only do you have to run the football, you got to understand protections. You need to have good hands to be a good receiver. In our offense last year, Quali Conley was one of our top leading receivers in receptions on our team, and even traditionally prior to that, that position has always had the second or third leading receiver on our football team. And in Coach Daggy's offense, I see same thing similar. All the guys that are in that room show that versatility, that not only can they run the football, that they can catch the ball and do different things with the ball in their hands. We don't get caught up in carries and attempts. We just take care each play, one play at a time, and bring that. You can't put, when you see a certain back in the game, you don't know what that is. You don't know what they're going to do, because they do bring the versatility to be able to catch or run with the football.
And I know you just mentioned protection, and one of your mantras is no block, no rock. So,
Yes.
So who's that guy right now that's the best at pass pro?
They all work at it very, very hard. It's on my wall in the room, but if I was to have a warm, fuzzy blanket right now, it would be Kedrick, because he's been in the offense for a full year. He's another guy that squats over 500 pounds, and he takes the weight room very serious. He's one of the leaders on the football team. He understands protections very well, and but Quincy and Ismail is right behind him. They're also real mature. They study a lot of film. These guys love studying film, so that's part of the protection piece, going along with Coach Oglesby and Coach Miller, just trying to make sure that we're on the same page with the offensive line and the tight ends, and as well as the quarterbacks. I understand that that's a major part of our offense, that we take a pride in blocking. So no block, no rock. So you be able to protect that quarterback, especially when you got one like Noah Fafita. We got to take care of him.
You keep talking about versatility. Is that like a theme for your room? Maybe not only in physicality, but maybe stature, explosiveness, just a bunch of versatility.
That's each year you have a different group of guys, and you try to play to their strengths, and you coach to the strengths of your talent. And this year, that is the strength of the talent. The strength is that they are very versatile. They all can line up out wide, and they also can run inside zone, outside zone, whatever it is we need them to do. That's what makes this offense so special. And we'll be able to put it on display when the time is right. Right now, we're in the lab, just making sure that we're fine-tuning all those things. And then we got some young guys with Cornelius Warren and Wesley Yarbrough that are also learning the offense, and they get a chance to learn from 3 upperclassmen that can show you that versatility every play. And I think that's something that will help us in the long run because people won't be able to say when X is in the game or so-and-so is in the game, this is going to happen. You know, we're able to do different things and do it at a high level. And it's just something that I love about coaching in this offense, having great help with Coach Lau Moival, you know, a former quarterback. He's in the room with us as well. So having him with me every day has been a blessing to work with him and Coach Daggy to bring the best out of these young men.
Two questions. First, with Kedrick, where have you seen his growth from last year around this time to this year as one of the upperclassmen?
Just the leadership part, being a little bit more vocal. Like I said, he one of the top guys in the offseason, got acknowledged by Colin Carroll and the strength staff as one of the leaders in the weight room and taking his craft very serious, changed his body, you know, just his commitment to the offseason has been huge. Mentoring and teaching the younger guys. He's a mentor for Yarbrough. I make them sit next to each other. He's always helping them with taking the notes and just trying to hold everybody accountable. And then him and Ismail and Quincy are kind of inseparable. You see them a lot together, and they get along off the field, which is really important. I think that unity and that brotherhood is important for that group because we have a standard, you know, and in our room it says, be the standard, and then we have this mantra, FVP, fast, violent, and physical. You know, what is that? Is that something that we're going to live by? Is that something that we're going to just say, or are we going to live by that? When you push play, your film is your resume, so what do you see? And Kedrick is a person that a lot of people forget, coming out of high school, he was the number 5 running back in the country. You know, so to get him after 1 year at Ole Miss, we got him late last summer, so he's had a full year to train and learn the offense and get the respect from his teammates. He's not a real rah-rah guy. He likes to just put his hard hat on and go to work, and he's a pleasure to coach. You know, I have a lot of fun with him. Sometime when I'm upset, I'm fussing at him about something somebody else done, and he calms everything down. He understands what this is. He's played in the Big 12 now for a year, so he brings something to the table that nobody else in the room has. He has experience playing in some games, so his leadership is open and welcome by not only just the running back room, but by the whole team. So I'm excited to see him in the offense. He did some good things today out there on the fields, on the practice field. He's been showing up, so pretty excited about what he's going to do this season.
And then Wesley wasn't one of the freshmen that was here during spring practice, but he's here now. Just your initial thoughts of him with little working time, but
yeah, he's going to be special. A lot of people, I was today overheard a couple of the guys during 9-on-7, the players, when he went in, they was standing talking to kids, said, man, he bigger than you. You know, so they were just looking at just his size as a true freshman. He's about 205. He can run the ball. Real yes, sir, no, sir, real calm, even demeanor. But it's pretty exciting to see what he brings to the table. Really knowing how deep we went with him going all the way back from February. He was one of our first commits. He's one of the kids that I spent a lot of time on the recruiting trails out in Texas, making sure that he fit us and we was the right fit for him. And it's exciting to have him. And then at that time, we didn't even have Kedrick. So now I got 2 guys from Houston in the room, and they kind of, like I said, they sit next to each other. He's a high learner. He's going to be a very good football player. But right now, we're just trying to make sure he's up to speed with those other 3 guys. And them other 3 guys are special. And they do some things. They're very unselfish. And I think they love working with the younger guys. So it's pretty exciting to see what Wesley will be in the future. But, you know, we're trying to prepare him to, are you that 4th guy? We need you to be that 4th guy. You know, we want to make sure he's prepared and also make sure you understand what he has to do in the special team space, which you'll hear all my guys. That's an emphasis for all of them to be able to be productive in the special team space as well.
Coach, 2 questions for you as well. First one, just compared to last year, there's a lot more depth and balance in the running back room. Without giving too much away, just how do you plan to use the room by committee and rotate guys, keep them fresh?
Well, in the offense, in this modern offense, you know, the average offense in tempo offense, you're going to have 80 to 85 snaps. That's on the average. Even on a low, 70, 75 snaps. No one person can play that many snaps in the game. So we will have a person that will take a big chunk of that, the bulk of that, whether it be 35, 40 snaps, and then another two guys doing what I would say splitting between 25 to 30 snaps. So I don't ever call them starters. I always say a 1, a 1A, and a 1B, which means you can still call the offense regardless of who's in the game. You don't have a certain set, get on the headset, so-and-so's in the game, and it changes what we do. No, I think the versatility of all three of those guys will give us an opportunity for Coach Daggy to be just as creative as he's been with the offense and do what he wants to do, and having that versatility is important. And all those guys are, once again, they start in the special team space as well. I know Quincy right now, he's a starter on 2 and a 2 on the third one. Kedrick's starting on 3 right now, and Izzy is starting on 1. So we want to be able to make sure we're maximizing our best players. If they're the best athletes, I take that very personal, making sure that we train them and they get cross-trained, not only as running backs, but in the special team space as well, so we can win football games. There's no egos. Whoever got the hot hand, whoever can give us the best chance to win, they will all be trained up to do that. So I don't have a set number this early in camp. We're just trying to condition them to be ready to go.
Like Juan said, versatility is kind of been the theme of the day. Ishmael Mahdi got named to the Paul Harnum preseason award watch list, the most versatile player in football. Just what you've seen from him in camp and kind of what, an honor like that ahead of the season means.
Well, it's starting to slow down for him because in the spring, you can tell he got here. He was a little overwhelmed, I thought. He wasn't being his natural self. But now he come back, had a full summer to just really understand the offense, get in the weight room, be around Quincy and Ked. And in fall camp, he's looking really good. He's starting to look like himself. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the offense. We know what he is as a kick returner, but the way he runs the ball and the way he catches the ball, it's special. It's different. And he can be a home run hitter, whether it be catching the ball, swing out the backfield, or running a 60, 70-yard run. He brings that to the table. And I think now that he's starting to find his lane and find his confidence, you'll see some special things out of him. I'm excited for him to get nominated by award like that, but we don't really talk about that stuff. He's a really unselfish young man. He's very mature. He's an honor roll student. He's about to graduate. So he's a really, really mature young man. He's a pleasure to coach. He's a yes coach, no coach type of young man. And what he brings to the table is just maturity. You would think he's been here a long time, but you got to remember he's only been here 6 months himself. So as he gets more and more comfortable, you will see the young man you've seen on film, the stuff you've seen him do at Texas State. You will see him start bringing some of that explosiveness and some of that playmaking ability to the Arizona's offense.
A guy like Wesley, his body type and just how he's coming in, is it rare to have a true freshman running back who's kind of game ready right now?
Well, the biggest thing when I recruited Wesley was I love the size and the versatility. Kind of remind me of Kedrick once I started watching both their film, but he was one of the guys. There's a lot of good football players in the state of Texas, and I was able to recruit in the state heavily and be able to kind of go out there and visit and see him and watch him practice spring ball, in pads. So I was able to see him run around, and I just knew after meeting him and seeing him in person and meeting his mother and his family, I felt he would be a good fit for the program. And as he played football, basketball, and ran track. He was a 3-sport athlete, and it was just knowing once he was able to focus on one sport with just training, and naturally his body would grow. He's like 205, 206 right now. He can probably be a 210-pound running back as a freshman and doesn't lose a beat as far as his speed. But the biggest thing is just bringing him along slowly, making sure he understands the offense and understand the protection piece, which is always going to be a challenge for anybody, especially a freshman. So there's no rush to just throw him out there right there, but we are preparing him to have an opportunity to play at some point in the season with the redshirt rule. You get 4 shots plus a bowl game, knock on wood, 5 opportunities to get to see the young man play football for us. So we're preparing him. He's like I say, he sits right next to Kedrick. He's a big brother, a mentor for him. So we just want to make sure if we need him to go, he's prepared to go. But I'm very excited of the potential and what he brings to the table. And so far, he's been exactly what I want. I give him a lot of tough love, so he'll probably be surprised when he hit his interview. But I try to make sure that all of them understand their roles. And right now, his role is just to be a great teammate, learn the offense, and learn special team stuff. So far, so good.
And last year, we didn't really see the running back room reach its full potential with Ja'Cory and Speedy's situations. So with the group that you have now, if they were to reach their potential and you guys maximize this group, what does that look like in your opinion?
Arizona Wildcat football making the bowl game, going to the Rose Bowl, those are the things that we think about. We don't talk about individual accomplishments as far as the room itself and as far as the individuals in the room. We all about the team, and whatever we got to do to help this team win, that's what we're willing to do. If it means if there's 70 snaps and we have to block 65 of those snaps, that's what we'll do. Whatever we got to do to help us win. Those young men are very unselfish, and it's all a reflection of our head coach, Coach Brennan. You know, he's put together a great staff of men, and we went out and got players that fit the program, that want to be here and believe in our mantra, which is red line. We play hard, we practice hard, we 100 every day, and everybody in that room exemplifies that. So I don't have a set number that I can give you to say what it's going to be. As long as we're winning games and helping this football team be successful and helping represent this university on and off the football field, that's the major thing for me. Right now, everybody in that room is a 3.0 student, and everybody in that room is the ones that are on course to graduate, or about to graduate, and the ones that when you see on the field, that mean they earned that opportunity. So we just want to represent this program to the best ability and help us win football games.
Coach, the drill where you have them high stepping through the ropes, what is that drill? What's it meant to teach them?
Well, the biggest thing is ball security is job security. You're going to see, y'all come out to practice a lot, you're going to see us do some kind of ball security drill, and within that going through the ropes, that was the height, picking your feet up, making sure it's people, defensive linemen and somebody on the ground, swiping at your feet, trying to trip you up. Most times you see running backs that might have a big run, they see a hole and they might jump cut and they slip, or somebody nip them at their feet, then they pound in the ground, wishing they would have picked their feet up. We try to make that an emphasis every day, that they're getting their knees up. You know, I'm old school. I like to watch Roger Craig and Eric Dickerson, them type of running backs, you know. So I try to give them things. When I say that, they're like, huh, who is that? Watch video. So I have to send them stuff to watch those type of guys that lifting your feet. I'm a track coach by nature. I used to coach track, so a lot of stuff you see me do is going to be simulating them finishing. You're always working on finishing, and then picking your feet up, you know, running with some kind of high knees, making sure that you're being explosive at the end of every run, and most importantly, protecting the football. You're going to see us do some kind of ball security drill every single day. That's an emphasis for the whole offense, but it's also a major emphasis in our room. We want to make sure we protect the football.
Right, you mentioned the old guys that do that you like. Who's the young guy that they would know right now that does that well?
Well, they tend to, you see, even if I say Adrian Peterson, to me, they would think he old, you know, LaDainian Thompson, you know, those guys, they watch football. They all like, you know, they're like, obviously, you know, there's players that are currently in the league, Bijan Robinson, you know, guys like that they look at and try to simulate their game after. You know, one of my favorite runners is like Pacheco for the Chiefs. He's a 7th-round draft pick guy that runs hard. He plays hard, and he lifts his knees. And I'm going to have a new favorite this year. I have a guy named Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. We'll be able to watch him pick his knees up and run hard. And Kweli Conley, we'll be able to watch those guys play hard and lift their knees, just the old school, new school type mentality. But I just think that's something that if you're a true student of the game, understanding the game, watching film, and having an appreciation for football, and if you really appreciate that position, guys like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, those are the guys that they're looking at. We were just talking about Saquon the other day, And, you know, he's been doing it, you know, and the off-season training, if you look at the videos that you see Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley put out, Nick Chubbs, I mean, them guys is doing some crazy stuff, but you see the preparation and you have appreciation for their running styles because it kind of correlates to football. But if there was a one guy, it'd probably be Saquon Barkley would be the one.
Thank you, Coach.
All right? Thank you.